Hi chums. Okay, we're on number 32 Cara, and these are number 32 Cara, and there's two large Cara, and these are mine. So we'll see how they have done. Right, so in one of the last videos talking about my own attitude towards my children and knowing where they lived, you know. I suppose I could go on from that and tell you something about our own holidays. I say we had a caravan and we went everywhere, and Ireland, we are so lucky in Ireland, really lucky. We have got standing stones and dolmens and stone rings and souterrains and rafts and all sorts of old churches and castles, stately homes. You name it, we have basically got it, you know. You know the one I bet, the Viking, the Viking towers they call them, but these were like long, tall towers where monks ran to when the Vikings came, and they got into the towers at the top, and then they pulled a ladder up after them so they couldn't get in. But the monks, the Vikings had a very simple way to sort them out. They just set fire to them, and they were trapped in the top, you know. But they've still got a few old, they were still standing about, you know. And as I say, we're very lucky that we've got everything, you know. But when our children were small, like we're talking about 4 and 5, you know, we were taking them off down south, and it was just basically a family fun holiday and just trying to find things for them to do. But we also drove about a bit and did a bit of touring and stuff like that. And there was one day that we were driving down past Benbulben in County Sligo. Benbulben is the Irish Table Mountain. Those are mine, right? And they're not too bad looking at all, are they? Am I getting in shot there? Yeah. So those aren't bad. They're starting to grow. That's why I'm taking them out, you know. That'll not affect the taste. Now look at this. Now what did I do different? These must have been looked after better. You see, so we're starting to have to reevaluate my attitude towards growing my own spuds from seed from the previous year, because there's nothing wrong with those at all. I'm just rubbing the eyes off as I take them out to stop them getting any bigger. So, we're driving along, and I spotted this old ancient dolmen on the side of the road and a standing stone circle. So I was saying to Rosemary, I said, you know, Rosemary, I can't wait till the kids are big enough to sort of enjoy going in to watch old stuff, looking at the old stuff that we have and all the monuments and stuff. And she says, well, they're not old enough now. And I says, do you think so? And she says, yeah, we'll give it a go. So I pulled over onto the side of the road, and we went out, and we said to the kids, right, this is a really old site, thousands of years old. And we brought them in to show them how the tunnels were dug and into there's an old grave, that's what it was, an old grave with a standing stone, but you could still see how the passageway was dug in towards the grave and lined with stone. And then there's a standing stone circle, and in the middle was like an altar, you see. And Dermot was only small, and he said to me, Daddy, what's that thing in the middle there? And I said, that's an altar. And he went, what was that for? And I said, oh, that was where they sacrificed people. And he went, what? And his eyes just lit up. And I went, is that real? They sacrifice people? And oh, aye. We're very, very bloodthirsty people, the Irish, you know. And he went, right, now, do you want to sacrifice me? And he went, yeah. So they went and got two like sticks, and I lay down on this stone altar thing, and the two of them had to get lifted up onto it because they're so small. And they knelt on the altar and started as if they were stabbing me to death and cutting my throat up and basically giving me a really horrible death. And I was lying with my tongue out and groaning and moaning, despite like 45 or 50 other people walking about watching this and taking videos of it and photographs and all the rest of it, you know. Well, that time they were probably taking videos with cine cameras, you know. But so they got sacrificing me on the stone altar, and that was fair enough. So we went back into the car, and I thought, God, that went brave and well. They really seemed to enjoy that. So about an hour later, we were driving past, and Una went, Daddy, there's a standing stone in there. And I went, okay. So I pulled in, and the two of them got out of the car and they raced up into this area with the standing stones. And Derek came back and says, Daddy, 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 there's an altar for making sacrifices. I went, all right, here we go. So I went in, next thing back, up onto the altar, and the two of them, they'd kept their wee sticks from earlier on, and the two of them stabbed me to death again and cutting my head off, and just as whatever their imaginations would do, they were doing it to me, you know, and making sure that I had the goriest death possible, you know, and that just set the mood from then on. Every time R2 spotted any sort of ancient monument, they had to get in to see it, and if there was an altar, I got sacrificed. So I've been sacrificed on every altar in Ireland, you might say. You might say I have been. So that was great fun, and the kids loved it. So time goes on, and about, what do we say? About 5 years ago, when my son was 26, we were in Cork. He had come home from England for a few weeks, and we went down to see some family and stayed in Cork with them. And we said, look, he says, come on, we'll go for a bit of a drive and take a look around the place. And he says, come on, can we go to Timoleague Abbey? Timoleague Abbey out in South Cork is between like Clonakilty and Kinsale on the coast road. It's really, really beautiful, right beside Court McSherry. Anybody who has come here from America or Europe to go fishing, and especially shark fishing, Court McSherry would be the shark fishing centre of Ireland. There's another place, I've forgotten the name, I think maybe it's Baltimore, but I'll tell you what, the dreadnoughts worked out of it. Was it Baltimore or the Kinsale? The dreadnoughts were invented there. The guys went out into the deep sea and fished for big fish in terrible conditions. But as I say, I said, yeah, sure, we can, sure. So that was fair enough. And I know the kids always liked Timoleague Abbey. And he hadn't seen him for about 10 years, you know. So we were heading out that direction. We went and had we did the Court McSherry first and had a cup of coffee, and then went to the craft shop. There's a lovely craft shop in Court McSherry. And then we headed back and decided to take a walk around the old abbey, you know, and it's a brilliant abbey. It's basically still there except for the roof and the top floor, so you can see exactly how it was laid out. So we were walking about looking at things, and then he was going around with me looking for graves. This will be another story. Looking for graves, and we ended up that we sort of meandered into the church part of it, and there we were with the altar right in front of us, and he's a 26-year-old, right? And he turned and he says, right, Di, you know the procedure now. So I had to get up on the altar, and he went and got a stick and pretended he was going to sacrifice me on the altar, although I think he was doing like the Viking blood sacrifice where he pulled my lungs out and stuff, you know. He was very into it. And then Rosemary took photographs of it, you know. And I'm sure the people that were there wondered, what is wrong with those two lunatics there, you know? But I had to be sacrificed, so my days of being sacrificed are not over yet, you know. But that's the sort of thing we did to get our children interested in stuff that we were interested in. We just brought them to see it and made it a bit of fun for them, you know. Now, I'll tell you what, I'm sure their picture of medieval and ancient Irish history is going to be very skewed, because there were times when I kind of let my imagination flow a wee bit, you know, and they might have got a more colourful picture than the event actually was, but it kept them interested and it kind of fed their imaginations then, you know. So as I say, that was just a bit of fun we had with our children, where we basically taught them to like what we liked, you know, and it worked out really well. And it was fun, and they loved it, and they still love it. They still do. When we went over to England, this is another story, yeah. We went over to Kent and to see my daughter. She was living in Sandwich, and it's great, fantastic old stuff in England, you know, and especially in the south of England. And we were going along, and we came to this place where there's an old church, and the roof is still on it and all. Next thing, Dermot said, "Daddy, you know the procedure." It's exactly what Dermot had said about 5 years earlier. And I had to get up onto the altar and get sacrificed. I must look for these photographs and let you see them. They're absolutely mental, but great fun. So there you go. So teach your children what you want them to be interested in, because if they're interested in the same things as you, it makes life very easy for you. Well, in a way it does, but in another way it means you to do far more work to keep them interested as well. But that's your job. Your job is to educate your children. Right. Okie dokie, right, I'll get that up there. Okay, this is alright. I think this review is going to be okay. Right, let's see, get that squared up again. Make sure it's level. Hello. Right, what have we got? I'd say about 4.5. I'm going to go for £5 here. Oh, there we are, £5.85. What's that? 4.4, about 2.4 kilos, about thereabouts. 2.66 kilos, not as sharp that time. So 2.6, £5.85, and significantly, those were done from my own potatoes. So I'm quite pleased with that. So I'll do that again next time. I'll keep some potatoes back and do it again. I'm filling this pot here. Where are we? Oh, I'm way too far ahead there. This pot here, I'm putting all the Cara in. No, that one there. I'm putting all the Cara into that, and I'll just give them away to people, you know, because I can't use them all, and there's no point wasting them. Okay, so that's it. All the best now. Bye bye.